Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my preview and analysis for 2016 NFL season Week 2 matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. Now, what's really interesting about this is that if we were to look at this matchup like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, it'd be very easy to say that, well, Seattle's just going to go in there and annihilate them. And I understand why some people now think that, because Los Angeles Rams, they had a very lackluster performance against the San Francisco 49ers in Week 1, and they basically put a goose egg up. They were shut out 28-0. They just didn't look good from all phases and aspects of the game. But what people have to remember is that, okay, for one thing, Seattle, they put up a robust 12 points last week in the victory against Miami, and that was at Seattle. And it took a final drive, like in the last minute, I believe, in order for them to emerge victorious. I mean, that game could have gone either way. They could have easily lost to Miami. But another thing is that quarterback for Seattle, Russell Wilson, his status is questionable for Week 2. My feeling is he probably will play, but even if he plays, he probably won't be 100%. The Los Angeles Rams, they have had success against Seattle in recent time. They have won the last 3 of 4 from the Seattle Seahawks, and they swept Seattle last season. And Seattle, it seems like that maybe they're going to be one of these teams that are going to be notorious for getting off to a slow start. They started 2-4 last season. Could that same thing happen this season? I think it's possible. I don't think they'll be 2-4 after 6 games, but they don't seem like, from last season and now right in game 1 this season, they just seem like they're not starting out very well in the last 2 seasons. And really, the thing about this game is that it's going to be that inaugural game at this Los Angeles location for the Rams. They will be rejuvenated and be very inspired, I believe. I know that only goes so far in winning a football game, but what it tells me is that they will there's no doubt they'll put forth a much better effort, I think, than the previous game. I mean, you almost have to when you only score 0 points in your first game, and that was on the road. That was against a divisional opponent. I mean, this is going to be a game, of course, against another divisional opponent, but this will be at home, and Seattle has not looked really that impressive. And the thing about this is that we have to look and see, as far as the Seattle quarterback situation, really, it's obviously not stellar. And the thing about this particular matchup, it's just something where you have to keep in mind that this is a divisional game. This will be that first game at that new Los Angeles Coliseum or whatever, that stadium or whatever you want to call it. And Seattle Seahawks, they better really make sure they bring their A game, and that's including Richard Sherman and the rest of the defense on that team. Now, the defense did play well for Seattle last week because they gave up 10 points. I believe the final score was 12-10 in favor of Seattle. So the defense will play well. I believe that Seattle did register 5 sacks, if I'm not mistaken, in Week 1. So they do have a very strong pass rush, and they will need that against the Los Angeles Rams. If they can rush the quarterback and force him into making some errant throws and some mishaps, create some turnovers, then then obviously this game is to their advantage. I do like Seattle to win this game. However, I like it in a rather tight matchup. I don't believe Seattle will go in and just simply annihilate Los Angeles Rams. I think it'll be a lot closer than a lot of people anticipate. That's just my belief on it. I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams somehow pull this out. The funny thing about the NFL is you could look deplorable one week, and then the next week you go in and redemption is only 1 week away. And And Jeff Fisher for the Los Angeles Rams is not a bad coach at all. And I think he will get this team ready, but they're just going to have to figure out what they're going to do as far as getting the quarterback to be efficient and try to have a fairly mistake-free game as far as interceptions and fumbles go, and they could stay in this game. But I do like Seattle to win this in a tight matchup. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for the Week 2 2016 matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.